can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Now, I've overextended my welcome. I had commissioned the great Doug Hawkins for the final series to give us his input into why and where and how and what the but the game has been played and and it's over. And I thought we'd just get 5 minutes from him if he's available. I've just put the call in. I don't know where he is, but he's taken the call, and I'm just welcoming the great Hawk to the You Cannot Be Serious forum again. Doug, give us your quick wrap, and then I will just only do it for 5 or 10 minutes because I haven't, that wasn't part of the deal with your management.
No, Sam, and hello, Sue, and Sam. It was a very exciting game. I thought on Saturday.
Yeah.
I thought
Which part of it?
Line, I thought when they run out at 2 o'clock after Katie, what's her name?
Perry.
How'd you find her, Sam?
I didn't. No, Doug, you won't be surprised at this. As soon as Uncle Colin came on, I turned it off. So I didn't see Katie. Or was she on before Uncle Cole?
She was on before Uncle Cole.
Oh, no, I didn't see it. I'm not familiar with a lot of her work, so I didn't know.
Uncle Cole got up on the stage with the boys and celebrated the Brisbane Lions.
You sure that was it? That wasn't just airbrushed in?
Artificial, that was artificial.
Yeah, artificial. AI. Yeah. Artificial intelligence, Doug. That's what you and I have got, artificial intelligence.
But in the wrap-up, I thought the Brisbane Lions, as I predicted, would be just too good.
You did?
Sydney Swans. I thought Sydney Swans tried their best. They gave everything they had in their bodies.
I didn't think that at all. I thought they were piss weak. I thought they capitulated like they did against Geelong 2 years before. I thought they thumbed their nose at the crowd, took the buttered confection and scampered back up to Harbour City where they broke out the Bolivian booger sugar and the Verve Clico and couldn't have given us stuff.
Well, Sam, I know that you believe that you got to lose one to win one. I know you believe that. I know you believe that Sydney 2022, the Cats absolutely ripped them apart. And we thought, well, we probably did, probably me and you, after 40 or 50 more games together over the next 2 years, you reckon they'd come and play and deliver? They didn't give a yelp. They didn't give a little bit of an effort.
No.
I'm with you, Sam. They were very, very ordinary. Their good players were ordinary. And if I was John Longmire, I'd snatch it.
Now, well, it's hardly his fault. I mean, once you get out on
he's the coach. He's the coach.
He is, I know, but once they get out on the ground, he's not really responsible. I have no idea. I'm trying to cut him some slack, but that was a disgrace. Now, Doug, just wanted to, there's more seem to be going on off the ground. I noticed the Brisbane Lions have now demanded a explanation as to why they were denied a second training session on the MCG because Katy Perry had to rehearse. Why would you? What would it matter how many times you trained on the MCG before a grand final? Honestly and truly, could anyone complain about any more sort of pathetic things? And then John Longmire of the Sydney Swans then complained that while John Longmire was doing his press conference, the Brisbane Lions in another room were cheering and shouting. I mean, what? You'd think this is the Nuremberg war trials. We're at the United Nations.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Sam. I agree that Longmire's doing his press conference. I suppose you don't want to hear him singing and bloody. It's about shut the door and all that sort of stuff. But I thought the Norm Smith medalist, Sam, was a great result with Patrick Cripps winning it. I thought it was terrific. It was really good.
The what?
I thought the Norm Smith medalist, Patrick Cripps, I thought it was terrific.
The Norm Smith medal? What's that for the leading goal kicker? Patrick Cripps. Who's he? The fuck are you talking about?
He played for Carlton.
Why did you say he won the Norm Smith medal?
He won it as well. He won that as well. He won the Brownlow by 46 votes. So why couldn't he win the Norm Smith?
Ah, well done. You got me there. You got me on a technical issue. I thought, don't tell me Patrick Cripps played for the bloody Brisbane Lions. Oh, I got that mixed up with Joe Danaher. Did Joe Danaher get a kick? Did he play well?
He got a couple.
Two.
He's on $1 million, don't forget.
Yeah. Yeah, Paddy
He's on big
Cripps.
money, mate.
Paddy Cripps.
He won the Brownlow by
45 votes, made him the best player by so far in the history of the game. It doesn't matter. So he's not his fault, incidentally.
But anyway, I just thought I'd chuck it in to see if you thought he'd play for Carlton.
Yeah. No, you had me on the run there. I knew I'd been away for a while, but I thought, holy shit. Don't tell me I've missed that trade.
No, Sam, it was great for Chris Fagan.
It was.
63 years of age and Tasmanian boy. And have you met him, Sam, Chris Fagan?
Well, I probably have. I can't remember meeting him, but I tell you what, he's got a bit of redemption from the crap they carried on with him and Al Clarkson at Hawthorn. He scampered away with there, nearly ruined his life, that bullshit they carried on at Hawthorn. And he got up there and good on him. Just shows you, Doug, you don't have to go to the moon to know it's there. He never played football with anyone, but just got the people to play for him and not in spite of him, gathered them round, bit of camaraderie. Go on, boys, give it your best shot and have a crack.
Well, you know what, Sam? You know what the Brisbane Lion players had for him? They have respect. And you know what? They love him as well.
Well, there you are.
You can see the respect. You can see the love for that gentleman, Chris Fagan. When he stood on the ground there watching those players coming on off the ground when it was their turn to have a rest, they embraced him, they respect him, and they love him. That's a big, big, big thing, Sam. As we know, we're 300-game superstars of the competition, and we do know that you've got to have respect, and if you love the coach as well, it's even better.
Now, Sue has just provided me, you'll think that I know this well, and I'm well researched, but I'm not. Sue's just given me this, that I'm reading this out. The AFL is proud to congratulate the co-captains of Brisbane, Lockie Harris, Lockie was that his name? Harris Andrews and Lockie Neal as the recipients of the inaugural Ron Barassi Medal. Lockie, what's his name? Anyhow, who cares? They're co-captains, and they won the... Lockie Neal, is it? Yeah. Lockie Neal. Well, Lockie Neal and Kamala Harris and Lockie Neal have won the inaugural Ron Barassi Medal for the best people in the game, and it should be shared with Camilla Harris. Should be shared with Chris Fagan.
What's that?
It should be shared with him, the Ron Barassi Medal.
No. It's to the captain of the premiership team.
Fuck the captain. He should get it because he's got him through, and it's been fantastic. So, Doug, it's been brilliant.
She's not a bloke, is she, Camilla? Is Camilla Harris a bloke, or is that a girl?
I don't think she's transitioning. Right. I'm not sure. She could be. The four-star general, what's her name? Levine. The four-star general of American in the Navy, Rachel Levine. You seen her?
Yeah.
You seen her?
I like Rachel. She's a nice girl.
Yeah, she's a bloke. Used to be Richard Levine, and she changed herself into the most disgraceful-looking person you could ever see, and she runs the U.S. Navy. Christ, no wonder the Chinese would look and say, "Holy shit!" Is that what we're fighting?
Why would the Chinese look?
Well, because they would, would you think they'd allow a man to dress up as a woman and run the Chinese Navy? Do you reckon? You reckon that'd happen?
No.
Oh, shit. Sam,
I'm happy to talk footy with you. And
Righto, well done. Well, all right, so that's it. And just finally, Doug, just a bit more happening. Right. I see Footy Wars, the Channel 9, they're all defecting. They're going over.
Me and you are coming back.
I said to Eddie, it's about time the old firm got back in town. I said... Tell me, why would it be interesting? Tell me this, when Channel 7 start their show next year, why would it be appealing to turn on to watch, I don't know, I've not seen Kane Corns' work, but...
I like him, Sam, I like him.
Good, well then, all right.
You know why, Sam?
What?
He's not an AFL stamped
lackey.
Performer. He's like you. He calls it like you, how it is.
All right.
They don't like that.
Good,
Yep.
So they might turn on, so... The draw cards, as I understand it, are Craig Hutchison, which good, very nice man, Caroline Wilson, and that'd be exciting to turn on next year and say, shit, I must rush home because Caroline Wilson's on the footy show. My God.
No, seriously, Sam. And
Yeah.
Mark Robertson, he got the flick from the.
Did he? Did he get the flick?
AFL 360.
Why?
Him and Jared Waitley.
Did he get the flick?
100%. He got sacked. He got told.
Jared
he was not
Waitley.
required. What, sorry?
Jared Waitley got the flick.
No. Mark Robertson got the flick.
Why?
Mark was told he was not required.
Why
for
wasn't
next
he?
Year. Well, that didn't come out, but he was told by the senior executive of the Fox Footy.
I see.
I can't remember the bloke's name, Sam, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He got told that he was not required for next year, and he refused to come in last night for the last show.
Well, you would, wouldn't you? Why would you come in if you got the flick?
You tell me, but unless you had your fingers in a couple other little shows that may have been going on, and the mail is that I think that our great mate from Melbourne, the great Gary Lyon, may be sitting there with Jared Waitley.
Oh.
And he may be taken over with Jared, the great Gaza.
Oh, fantastic! So they asked what's his name, Mark, to come in on his farewell show, having just given him the arse.
He told me get stuffed. He said, "Get stuffed. I'm not coming in."
Well, and rightly so, wouldn't you?
I think so, but unless you had your fingers in a few other opportunities down the track, Sam, you don't know. You might be on the couch or whatever show.
Oh, on the couch.
Be on with the chief. You might be on with the chief, the bounce. I don't know. You might be with the chief.
Mark Robinson would be on the bounce. What is a stand-up comic?
Stand-up comic.
Anyhow, is he still writing for the Herald Sun?
He still writes for the Herald Sun, yeah. I think Mike Sheehan's making a comeback to the Herald Sun, Sam.
Oh, no, please. Don't even say that joking. No. I saw Mike at the...
Mickey Sheehan's coming back. Mickey's only 80, but he's making a comeback. Yeah. Got the pen out.
And Peter Simonovic, and I saw Mick at the Van Sant Club.
You gave him a wave and said hello to him, didn't you?
After I took my hands off his throat, I did. Yeah, I patched it up with him, but Mick got a bit delusional at the. He did a thing with Gary Lyon and Tim Watson called The Rabbit Hole. And he just lost perspective of what he was talking about, and I just had to correct him. Yeah. Anyhow, that's good. He's a good lad.
So anyway, Sam, that's the news in the football world, in the media.
Well, Doug, it's been fantastic. I really appreciate it. People love you coming on. Michael Christian, menswear.com. We should have done shout-outs. He said the hats have flown out. He said he's only got 3 left of the Doug Hawkins signature. We had to also give Michael from... who was Michael from...
the Hyatt.
The Hyatt, from Hyatt. Not from the Hyatt. Yeah. Michael from Hyatt. We had to give him a shout-out.
Who makes those hats, Sam? Who makes those hats, by the way?
8-year-old kids in sweatshops that have been abandoned by their parents over in the Philippines, and they're on a very good wicket. They're on $2 a month, and they get put into the back of a cattle truck and delivered to the sweatshop, and they make them for 18 hours a day with your signature and mine on it and the logo. You cannot be serious. But if you think we're doing them a disservice, all the Nike stuff and the Reebok and the Adidas stuff, it gets made in the next room by the same kids.
You can't be serious there.
You cannot be serious. So, Michael Christian, we've got other shout-outs. What are they?
Very good.
Sue, please, quickly.
That's enough shout-outs, isn't it?
No, we had Michael Christian sends us hundreds, and I've lost them. Mick, I'll try and correct them. We're going to speak to Craig Willis now. Anyhow, Doug, I want to thank Doug.
I love you.
I want to thank you for coming on and over the finals, and we'll speak again.
Love you, Sue. Love you, Sam. Talk soon.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Well, as you can hear in the background, we've got a very keen and upbeat Craig Willis singing along to the song that, what's her name? Who sings that? Not Gloria Gaynor. Great Jack. It's a coming back to...
I got no idea.
Oh, I know. I can't think of her name. Now, so just a little bit of... we should have discussed this off air. So Sue said, I've just spoken for 5 minutes to Doug Hawkins about the grand final rap, and then she said, Sue, who's sitting here, she said, well, you should have just continued on and rang Craig, because I've now got to edit So what should I have done, Sue? I should have just kept on going with Craig, should
Yeah.
I? Just not
So
done
who
the...
are you starting with so that I know that the listeners...
Maxine Nightingale is the girl who sings right back where we started.
Correct.
So you've now got to edit. What have I done wrong?
Well, who's on first and what's on second, and then how you're going to intro it in and what are you going to do? So.
Okay, well, I've got to leave you to work that out. So this is the great Craig Willis, who's joined us from just his summer his summer residence up in a manor up in the foothills. Are you up there, or are you in your local city residence?
No, I'm up here in the magnificent high country of Victoria.
Right, beautifully done.
And you mentioned Doug. Doug is part of Seniors Week. Did you know that?
What's that mean?
Well, I have a seniors card, and I'm quite happy to say that.
So have I.
So the seniors card e-news came out today. Yeah, it came out today. It'll be on your email. So you'll have to help him there. And they're doing a thing in the park with Doug Hawkins.
Oh, I wish I'd known.
Card.
Wish I'd known that.
Well, I only just found out about a half an hour ago when I opened up the thing to read about it, to see what rorts I can pull as a senior. And there was this thing about Doug Hawkins.
And what happens at Seniors Week?
Exercise. It's on now. I think it's just about to start.
Gee, what do they have? Stalls with incontinence bags and pads? What do they have there?
Okay, now listen very carefully. And
Yeah.
Sue, you won't need to know this because you're not in that category.
Oh, I'm nearly
in
there.
it. I'm in it.
It's Celebration Day. Yeah, I know you are. It's Celebration Day, Fed Square, Sunday, 6th of October, for 7 hours, or should that be 8 hours because daylight saving has just begun, of live music, dance and entertainment across the main square, the Edge and the Riverside Terrace. 8 days of free pub. See, you've left too early.
What is 8 days of
You've
free?
gone
What?
back up a little too early. Public transport. There you go.
Well, it's
From
free
6th to the
anyhow.
13th of October.
It's free
Yeah, that's
anyhow.
true. Nobody pays.
No, but for,
Seniors Festival for shopping. Yeah, go on.
it's free in the city anyhow. All 12 months of the
Oh,
year.
yeah, it's only for a couple of blocks it's free. I know where your palatial apartment is. You probably get free from there, but I don't. I have to use my key card.
Oh, I see. I so it's free all over Melbourne.
Yes, for seniors card holders.
But just Melbourne? No.
I presume so. You
Yeah,
get
because the travel is
free
free
rail
anyway.
trip.
So I think it's more when you can actually go to country Victoria, or they can get on and they get discounts, because my mum does that. So you get discounts.
No, hang on. If I get on the tram at Coburg, that's not free. I have to
Well,
use
you're
my
not in
Myki
Melbourne.
card.
It's only the city of Melbourne where it's free.
Yeah, but that's what
That's
Craig
right, yeah.
I
And it's
said
only
that.
a couple of blocks.
Yeah.
So,
only a
so if you're a senior,
couple of
you
blocks.
don't get free transport all over Victoria. Do you?
Correct.
No.
No.
But you get free coffee at McDonald's.
Yeah, if you can, if you
Cooter
can be
becomes
bothered,
the Lord Mayor, eh?
if you can be bothered with the embarrassment of saying I'm a senior, can I have a free coffee? They give you free coffee if you're a senior at McDonald's.
You got to spend $4.
Well,
on it.
I'm quite happy to admit that I am a senior. I don't have any stigma. Do you know if you go to Adelaide, God forbid, and you get off the plane and you will go down the escalators, not the escalators, and there's a visitors information bureau, you'll get 5 free Glenelg tram tickets by showing your seniors card.
To go to Glenelg.
Glenelg.
Holy mackerel.
Anyway, look, it's good to have our chat with you too. Now, you've been in Melbourne. I've been following your exploits, which has been obviously fantastic for you to be able to go and do all the speaking engagements that you were engaged to do and do it, I'm sure, exceedingly well. I was a very happy boy on Saturday because Donna got some tickets to the grand final as a gold AFL member, and she, Keaton, and I went there and watched the Lions absolutely decimate the Sydney Swans. And I stood there and I sang the song with great pride and gusto.
Did you? Do you know the song?
We're the boys from Old Fitzroy. We wear colours, maroon, blue, and
that
whatever.
song.
And we, yeah.
No.
Bill Stephen wrote lyrics to that. The original one, Bill Stephen, a great man. Yes, he wrote the original lyrics.
I was just going to say something about you going to the grand, Donna, and you going to the grand. Oh, I tell you. So have a listen to this. I'm a 60-year member of the AFL, of the MCC. I'm a 50-year member, but I've been a member for 70 years. My father put me down. So my son said, Jack, he said, have you got any tickets? I said, no, but I get a ticket from the MCG because I'm a member. I said, why don't you get one from the MCG? So he applied and he got the ticket. It came over the phone on the,
ballot.
The ballot.
Yeah.
And so he had a friend in Perth. This is true. He had a friend in Perth who he said, I've got a ticket for. The bloke flew over from Perth and he took, Jack emailed the ticket to him and he got to the ground and they said, Jack told me this. I was down the coast with Sue. He rang. He said, "Can I give you 2 bits of bad news? One is that the ticket he can't get in because they said he was trying to impersonate you because it's on your ticket." And I said, "Really?" And he said, "And the other bit of bad news is that you've been suspended from going to the next year's grand final because you tried to get someone in on the sneak someone in on your ticket." And I said, "Are you serious?" I said, I don't care about being suspended, but why, if I can get a ticket, why do they have to, I thought I could give them a ticket. I didn't give them a membership. I have my membership. Surely I could go, I have a plastic card. If I went to the game, I would slot it in. Can't I get into the
argument, John, the argument is that it is a ticket issued to you because of your membership. Now, this happens with the Victoria Racing Club on Derby and Cup Day, where people go, oh, they won't check, and it's an electronic ticket to get into the members there, but they do, and they will swoop on some people and go, excuse me, are you Craig Willis? And they go, yeah, and they say, well, no, you're not, because your photo doesn't match the photo that we have on our file.
Well, I had no intention
of how it works.
I had no intention of trying to sneak anyone in. I just thought if I get issued a ticket, I can give it to someone. You can give a guest's pass to someone, which you pay $650 for.
Yeah.
And if I've got a ticket in my own right, why do I need another ticket to get in?
There'll be that 2 magical words somewhere there, Sam. Non-transferable.
Oh, fair enough. Well, then ignorance is bliss. I don't care if they ban me for every grand final because they go on with that while they go on with that pompous, arrogant nonsense beforehand. I just won't go. And I don't want you to get involved in that, but I'm just not going while that nonsense goes on beforehand. And that's not Katy Perry.
I'm a member of the Sydney Cricket Ground. My dad put me down on the 18th of November, 1954.
Yep.
And 26 years later, I became a full member of the Sydney Cricket Ground. And 27 years later, I moved to Melbourne. But I still pay the membership because I'll be nearly a 50-year member, obviously. So I still pay it because it's something you don't let go. In a couple of years' time, when I run out of money, I'll probably have to rethink the entire operation. However, but it's a traditional thing, and then you'd be very proud to be. My mate Tom, who was here having a cup of tea, and my mate Crookie in Wagga, they're both 50-year members. So Crookie says he gets to go into that special little room.
Yeah, the leather-bound chairs.
Yeah, but they also get a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And incontinence pads.
That's right.
It's absolutely fabulous.
That's right. And people help you to the John, and they stand outside in case you fall over into the urinal. No, it's fantastic. I've been there and sat there. Anyhow, I've been banned for something I had no intention of trying to get someone in on my ticket. I just thought if they give me a ticket, I can give it to someone.
Front page of the Herald Sun, I can see it now.
Oh, yeah.
Newman banned by MCG.
Well, that's a fact.
I feel sorry for Jack, who's only trying to do the right thing, isn't he?
Well, the bloke flew over from... Jack rang the bloke. This is true. He rang him from in Perth, and he said, I've got your ticket. Mailman. I got you a ticket on Mailman's membership. And he flew over and. Did he get a nice shock when he presented the thing, and they almost handcuffed him? They said, "You're not me," and I said, and he said, "Well, I'm not trying to be me. I'm trying to be Sam. I just thought I've got a ticket here. Could I come in?" And they said, "Not in your life." And they frog marched him in. And then Jack rang up and said, "You not only that, you've been suspended." I said, "Well, fuck me." Oh, gee. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing too. Sue might know more about this than I do. And I'm not big noting here, but I've never bought a ticket to the football in my life. I've worked at the football most of my adult life. So I had a pass from the AFL. In the old days, we used to get a gold pass, but you had your accreditation then, which admitted you to every ground, every game, all that sort of thing. Yeah. So then Donna said, "I'm going to buy some tickets." And so I said, "All right, well, good luck with your projects." And they go on sale at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday or some bullshit. Anyway, she's got the iPad, my laptop, her laptop, and both phones on the queue for Ticket Tech or whatever they call themselves.
And 10 seconds in, they're all sold.
3,000 people in front.
That's right.
No, but you put in the barcodes that she's got a membership barcodes, and you do all that. And then you go into this queue, and it says you're 6,422 people in front of you. And on the other device, it says 2,933 people in front of you. And next thing, bang, she's in, and she's gone, bang, 3 tickets, thank you. Right on the wing, 4 rows back from the fence.
Fantastic.
And it was just a terrific day. So, no, I really enjoyed it. Well, it is strange from my perspective to be sitting in the crowd on grand final day. I've got to tell you that. Normally you're out in the middle doing whatever I was doing at the time. Yeah. But, you've got more than competent people like Hamish McLaughlin who've taken on that role, which is fantastic. He's a great guy, huh? Yeah. But it's sort of a weird feeling. So it'd be like you going to, watch Geelong and thinking, I used to be up there.
That's right. Well, so Craig, if ever I want to go to next year's grand final, I might get Donna to get me some tickets. I'll come and sit in the Audi with you because I've been banned.
We'd be more welcome, and we go to a little place in Bridge Road. We had a brunch there, which was very nice. But Keaton, Donna's son, who can eat anything, he had a chicken parma there that he couldn't finish, which was unbelievable. We just had a really good day, and the crowd was great. There were a few Sydney people sitting around us, some Lions people, and it was just a fantastic day. That camaraderie that you get in amongst, people overseas can't believe that 2 opposing team supporters can sit together. No, but we're having a light banter with a few of the people around us. That's fabulous.
But that is the point, Craig. If there's no local sides playing like Carlton and Collingwood or Essendon and Footscray, of course everyone's polite and la-di-da and how are you and slapping each other on the back. Once the emotion and the tribalism kicks in from people who live in the city and have been barracking for those sides for yonks, that's when it's exciting. They couldn't manufacture the vibe, seriously, could they?
Yeah. You're exactly right.
We want to see brawls in the out of it.
It was a good result.
Vicious people, Collingwood and Carlton people locking horns out in the outer, and the coppers coming in with the heavy truncheons, keeping them apart. That's what it's about.
Magnificent. Well, I did see a few coppers go in with heavy truncheons. That was to keep the Sydney Swans people in their seats so they didn't leave early.
Oh, shit.
Anyway.
Now,
speaking of, go on. I've got something to impart to you, but you keep going.
Well,
non-football,
I only just give these topics, and I understand that you've got far more credibility and far more of a reputation to protect than me. So if you don't want to be part of this discussion, just politely just say yes, yes, I don't agree. But now, Jeff Kennett apparently said when he was the Premier, that if you are the Premier for 3,000 days or more, you are entitled to a statue. Could you believe that Dan Andrews, how about this for lack of self-awareness, I don't know if he's accepted the fact that a statue is going to be struck in his honour. If you were Dan Andrews, would you politely say, thank you so much, I would decline, I do not want a statue made of me? Because if they put up a statue of Dan Andrews, I am asking the people who cut the Captain Cook one down on the foreshore at Ormond, St Kilda, could those people, I'm not inciting them to do this, would it be possible, no one's ever found out who cut the Captain Cook statue down, that just seemed to just drift into the ether. If Dan Andrews gets a statue, could those people possibly visit his statue and do the same thing? Because there is not one person that man gave any joy to. That's why you give statues, isn't it? Because they're prominent people who give joy to people. I'll go down there with an angle grinder because you obviously need a new anchor for the boat. That's right. That's exactly right. And
I'm joking. I don't think it's appropriate, to be quite honest. It's way too soon.
Too soon?
And maybe, well, if they're going to build one, build it when he's gone, as in gone.
Dead.
But it's just a joke. That is so unlike Jeff Kennett to actually come up with something so stupid.
Well, he didn't qualify.
What a premier's bloody statue.
He didn't qualify. He was about 2,800 days or something, but maybe thought he was going to get voted in but honestly, it wouldn't matter if he'd been there for 8,000 days, Dan Andrews. He has driven single-handedly his government, this state, into the ground. It owes $200 billion. It is a disaster.
How many grandchildren have you got now? 3?
5.
5, okay.
Yeah.
Gee, they're like rabbits, your family.
No, I've got twins, so there's...
so of course you have, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be paying off this debt. Their grandchildren are going to be paying off this debt that this state has got itself into such a financial black hole.
So
and I don't know when we're ever going to get out of it.
So why would you give someone a statue who has been single-handedly driven this city into the ground?
I said do it later when he's gone.
How much later?
Anyway, I don't know. Wait a year.
So wait for
after
this.
He's gone.
So we're underwater debt-wise. They are now thinking of striking a bust of a kangaroo worth $22 million.
Oh, I saw that. Who are the people? Who are the faceless people that make these absolutely stupid decisions? Are they some little left-wing pottery group or something that sits at the left-hand side of the government? I'll get to that in a moment. But I just don't understand. How could anyone sit there to authorise this nonsense?
So,
I think there's a large rodent's derriere about a statue like
yes,
that. What a waste of
and if
money.
you think that's Australiana and people coming and visiting us, the tourists, it's an attraction, that's fine. How about get private enterprise, some private sector to sponsor it or do something without draining the public purse of, and then you come back. I come back from Sue and I come back from for the grand final. We land at the airport. We can't go through an intersection without people either glued to the road for climate change, fossil fuels, the CFMEU, Palestine. You can't get round the city. Bike lanes have choked the city out of existence. You can't hardly get a car down any of the roads now. No one rides a bike in the winter in Melbourne. What's going on?
Yeah, but who makes these decisions? This is they'll all stand up there going, "Oh no." My advice is, but there's a faceless group somewhere that sits. It's like people who write birthday and Christmas cards. There's a room full of them somewhere, and that's their sole job in life is to make everything so bloody miserable for the rest of us, and make us pay for it. It is just beyond belief. If you want to drive in country Victoria now, there's a sign on the back of a car I saw, "I'm not drunk, I'm just avoiding the potholes." Now, I drive back.
I like that.
I drive back and forth from Melbourne a fair bit, as you know. And the potholes, they fixed some of them, and they've reoccurred. And the road between, for those who don't know, Yea to Whittlesea, which is sort of a lovely little hamlet of Yea, through to Whittlesea, is absolutely dangerous. And yet they're spending $23 million on a stuffed kangaroo, for God's sake.
Well, so Craig, you come back after 4 months, and the Westgate Tunnel has not progressed 1 metre. I have no idea. Is that ever going to be finished? There was some framework up when we left. The framework is still there. No one's added anything to it. There's no new roads. There's what has done is provided some nice sound walls for graffiti to be put on them, but nothing else has advanced. When will that be finished?
Now, the other question that really gets up my nostrils: when they build these things, do they look forward to where it will be in 2042? Because they keep building these roads with 2 or at the most 3 lanes.
Yep.
When you're doing something like this, wouldn't you build it 6 lanes each way? You look at what they have spent on widening the Tullamarine Freeway out to the airport. It's finally done. But why wouldn't they have built it 4 lanes back in 1978 or whatever?
And if they had simply done their projection of how many immigrants and how many people are going to be allowed into the country,
people are going to be living there,
and settle in Melbourne at the satellite towns, good on them, all the immigrants and all the people emigrating here. If you thought, well, we're going to add 500,000 people to various cities around there, so we better take that into consideration when we're making some freeways, you're exactly right, but no one ever looks to the future.
It just beggars belief that you look at I went through the Domain Tunnel not long ago, or the Burnley, I can't work out which is which. It's still only 2 lanes. And of course, the minute, that's right, I had to go into Crown the other day for the Variety Club, grand final lunch with Mike Brady and Billy Brownless. They're one of the Dacos boys, Nick Dacos, Pete Dacos was there. We had a great lunch. Getting in and out of that city on the freeway system, it's bumper to bumper because they haven't built it big enough to cope with the traffic. And you've got 2 lanes going through under the Yarra. So how many lanes is this new tunnel that they're building under the Westgate Bridge? Is that 3 lanes each way? Because it should be 6 lanes.
Well, no one's got any idea, mate, because it's not open and it's not likely to be open while I'm alive. Now, so Craig,
I hope it is.
Here's the other thing, Craig. If you drive in the Domain Tunnel and you're going out of town, did you know it cost it's millions of dollars to put lights that travel at 80 kilometres? You're meant to keep up with the lights. Did you know that? There's lights that move on the side of the tunnel at 80k, and I've been there. How many times have you driven at 80k through the tunnel when the peak hour traffic's on? You don't even move. What is the point of putting those lights there?
You pay for these wonderful tolls. Now, because of where I'm now located in the city, or in Melbourne, it's quicker for me to go down Bell Street and onto the freeway to go into the city, like I did the other day to go to the Variety Lunch. Right? That costs me $11 every time I do it on the Linked.
Yeah, no,
Linked. That's $11. So coming home, it's $22 or something or other. In fact, it's more than that. And okay, look, it's very convenient until you get off the Bolte Bridge. Well, they named the bridge after Henry Bolte. That'll do. And you get into bumper-to-bumper traffic and it's all about merging. The red light, the green light that merges. Then you get off at Power Street, and then you're coming home again. You've got to get merging again and merge with that lane, and then you've got to get over to the left lane to get over the Bolte Bridge. And I'm paying for this. And I think, why the hell am I paying for this? It's not.
Suzanne,
it'd be quicker to come down Lygon Street.
Yep. Suzanne Stanley, OAM, has just got this up on the machine. The $13 million lights were paid for entirely by Transurban, which leases sections of the road. This is the tunnel. Yep. So you're meant to pick a light that's travelling at the same speed as your car, 80k, and you're meant to follow it, and that makes the traffic move at the same pace. Have you ever seen bullshit? You get 3 big B doubles who take up the entire. They don't stick to one lane. They accommodate the whole of the width of the tunnel, and you're stuck behind them. They go into 5th and 6th and 7th gear to get up the incline, and the traffic is a standstill. The lights just, you go dizzy going with the lights going past you. If you've got epilepsy, you just go have a fit because there's flashing lights in front of you, but no one keeps up with them because the traffic doesn't move.
But shouldn't you be keeping an eye on the traffic in front of you and watching some stupid bloody light? Well, that's what I found confusing. I knew what I was doing. In fact, Donna told me what I was doing, and I'm driving along thinking, hang on, I don't want to look at the light. I want to look at the bloke in front because God knows what he's going to do.
No,
Who knows in the predictability of the traffic flow system here in this metropolis in which we live. Now, how are we going? Have we got rid of most of our I can't use the exact term, but
the crap that we're speaking.
Well, I've got one.
Come on.
You.
We've got some shout-outs too. We missed the shout-outs last week.
All right, we'll get those in a minute. Now, you've been going on that boat of yours, that magnificent maritime maritime piece of machinery, which I hope is up and running. No, it's not. It's not Chinese. Good. It's a magnificent boat. You're going on about left and right and left and right. Why do they call it port? Why do they right? Now,
good.
The origins. You ready for this?
Yeah, I am. I want you
to tell me this.
Have you had
this history lesson?
What?
Okay, so back in the old days, ships were steered by an oar, O-A-R.
Yep.
Not O-A-M, sorry. An O-A-R, right?
Yep.
Most sailors who steered the ships were right-handed.
Yep.
Okay, so you imagine the gondola in Venice, right? Same deal.
Yep.
Right-handed, okay. Yep. So the Old English, it was known as the steerboard.
Mm-hmm.
So that became, the right-hand side became known as starboard. Okay?
Why?
I know you're listening to this because in the Old English it was called the steerboard.
Yep.
The other side of the boat, okay, was called the larboard side. Yep. And they changed the name because starboard and larboard sounded very similar.
Yep.
So when you went into a port, where the porters would load the ship, that's how it became known as the port side, the left side, and the right-hand side is now called the starboard side from the Old English of steerboard. There is also a thought that the Vikings had an origin of that from the stars that they used to navigate by. They'd look to the right of the ship. The other reason is that you've boarded an aircraft recently, haven't you?
Yes.
What side of the aircraft did you get on?
What side of the aircraft did I get on?
What side of the aircraft did you enter?
Well, in your terms, the port side.
Correct.
Yep.
Where does the captain sit?
In the cockpit.
Left-hand seat.
What?
But in the left-hand seat, right? So in the old days, when they had the aircraft with propellers, the captain could see the building on the left and the passengers. So it was safe then to start the engines. So that's why the captain sits in that seat, so he can look out the window to his left.
So that may
is there anything else you'd like to know?
No, but that is all. That is fascinating. That is, I'm telling you, if you're on a gondola and that most people are right-handed, if you stand facing the way the gondola's going, everyone in the world, the known world, people in Namibia, in the Sudan, in China, in Russia, in North Africa, in Casablanca, they know which is their left hand and which is their right hand. And if you're on a boat and you're standing the way the boat's going, why do you say go to the port or starboard side? Why don't you just say go to the left side, please, or the right side?
Because there's a lot of history in maritime words.
It's bullshit.
That's not one of...
That's a technical term.
You're not going to win this one, Craig. Give up now. Give up now. Trust me.
You're right.
Just say, yes, you're right, Mr. Newman.
No, but Craig, that is absolutely logical. I was out with some people, I've told you this, on a yacht, and the bloke who was trying to give them a bit of thrill to steer the boat on the tiller, he said, come to the port side a little. And the bloke said, what's the port side? He said, it's the left side. He said, and I said, why didn't you just tell him to steer it to the left? He said, well, that's the port side is the left. I know. I said, but you come to right and left. That's the only thing you need to know. The right and the left. Just go right or go left. Don't have to worry about any of that bullshit that the Vikings came up with.
We started it, Craig.
Or the porters came up with when they unloaded the ship, or where the pilot sat in the fucking cockpit.
Here we go.
Why do they call it a cockpit?
Well,
they
that's
can't
what your
anymore.
underpants are.
What?
That isn't what your underpants are called. You spend enough time being filmed in them.
The cock has flown. Let me tell you that the coop is empty.
It's more like the Speedway. It's got skiddies in there.
Thank you, Susan. So that's making a reference to my underwear. She never ever sees my underwear.
We all have it. Every video you do, you're walking around in your underpants.
That could be my budgie smugglers.
Budgie
smugglers. That's right.
Yeah.
What's the difference between your budgie smugglers and...
Which coal mine did that budgie die in?
Anyhow, we're are we on?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, I can't hear him.
I can hear you.
Oh,
What's happened? Don't tell me the
touches his
phone's
ear.
gone off.
No.
Can you hear
I'm
me?
here.
Jesus, I went dead
I can
then.
hear you.
I thought I'd gone. I
can hear you.
I thought I'd gone deaf.
Maybe.
So yeah.
Maybe the Melbourne cricket ground are listening.
now, so Craig, I was meant to do this last week, so bear with me if you got any shout-outs. This is mickchristianmenswear.com. Could we give a shout-out to Wally and Leroy from Ballarat? Leroy. And also Gracie from Oyen, who loves the podcast. Only 5 Doug Hawkins signed caps left. We've already said that we're selling out of them. The sweatshop kids over in the Philippines can't keep up. The last 3 are now on order.
Seniors Week.
You see, the last 3 now on order have just arrived. The order has arrived from Leanne in Burton, South Australia, so there's even less left. And now the following message was left overnight by one of my listeners. Hey, Michael, Zach, who bought one of your awesome caps, you cannot be serious caps. No need to respond to this. Well, I am responding. Just to let you know that I wouldn't have forgotten if I'd sent. What does that mean, Sue? Read that out. I can't understand.
It's a personal message to you.
Oh, it's a personal message.
It's not
shit.
for the podcast.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
saying.
I could have said anything in that case. And by the way, thanks for not. All right. So I'm sorry. I shouldn't have read that out, should I?
No, all the shout-outs, but that's all right.
All right. Well, Craig, you got any shout-outs? Shout-out to someone. Donna, why is Donna... Donna taken... I want to ask you this question. How is the AFWL going? And is anyone... I'm only asking this as a serious question. Is it going well? Is anyone interested in it?
Yes. No, look, I actually watched a couple of games this year during the men's finals. Because there was a couple of days we didn't have any footy, and I thought, well, I just cheered. I reckon the AFLW is terrific, and the girls' skill levels and obviously their fitness levels, now that it's become very much a professional side of their lives, has been terrific. She's great friends with Chloe Malloy, who is a superstar of the game. She's a Whittlesea girl, cousin, I think, of Jared Malloy, and Zach Malloy, who plays for the Southport Sharks in the VFL. And Chloe's a terrific young lady. I had her on Great Australian Lives last year.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy watching the AFLW because their commitment. And Brisbane Lions won the other day, and they just stood around and they sang the song with great gusto. Just a fabulous. And a couple of more rounds to go. So I think we're getting close very much to the final series now. That's
a pity the Swans AFW side didn't turn up and play Brisbane at the MCG last Saturday. They might have given them a better run for their money than the Blokes. Nah, that's a disgrace. They were shocking.
Well, it gets to a stage. I went to the tennis for nearly 30 years. I used to often say the best matches are the semi-finals.
Yep.
That you get. And sometimes, you get the men's finals an absolute fizzer, or it's a I said epic. The grand final's been like that for years. It's either going to be we go back to West Coast and Sydney. A thrilling moment. Leaping Leo Barry takes the mark.
Yes.
But Saturday, I think we paid $240 a ticket. You'd want your money back if it wasn't the grand final.
I didn't even go and got suspended for next year's grand final.
Well, I don't think Katy Perry will be back. I don't.
No, she
will be back.
Was no good.
She was good. She was good. I just don't get it. And look, other people will argue the toss on this. Don't we have enough talent in this country? And allegedly, somebody said she was paid $5 million. I think it was closer to $3 million.
Yep.
And it's promoting her tour coming up here later, I think early next year, some stage anyway. Look, she was good, but I just don't understand why we have to have all these international stars turning up to sing at our grand final. But I will say a story against myself. One year, there was a little red-headed bloke with a guitar. And they said, can you go and get this fellow and bring him out for the rehearsal day on the Thursday? I said, yeah. So nice bloke, got chatting. I said, geez, you'll get ready. We better get out of the sun. It was a really hot day. So we sat under the stage and had a really good chat. And that was the first time I met Ed Sheeran. I had no idea who he was. And next time I saw him was with 100,000 people at the MCG.
Yep. Great friend of Shane Warne's.
And loveliest bloke and a huge talent. But I'm going to Coldplay coming up in November. And guess who the support act is? The support act. No. It's my friend Emmanuel Kelly.
Who is?
You better Google it.
Who is
Google
he?
Him soon. He's an amazing young man. He is an amazing young man. His brother is Ahmed Kelly, the Paralympian. And he's going to sing with Coldplay. And he's already done that with Chris Martin. So we're going to go and see, no, I'm not seeing Coldplay. I'm going to see Emmanuel Kelly sing at Marvel Stadium.
It's extraordinary.
So he sang at the Variety Club last week. And I'll plug myself, he's my guest on 3MP, 8 o'clock Saturday morning in Great Australian Lives, where you've been a guest. Twice, actually, you've been a guest. So,
well, here
I'm looking forward to that.
Sue has very kindly Googled him, and it says this: Emmanuel Kelly was found in Iraq as a baby, half dead in a box at a park by two soldiers with no birth certificate or passport. Let me go on. And no known identity. It is nothing short of a miracle that he is alive today. And he was taken in to the Mother Teresa orphanage in Baghdad, and it goes on and on. Well, there is a success story, so good on you for going to see him.
He's fabulous, and his interview with me, which I only recorded yesterday, was one of the most moving I think I've ever done.
Well, just tell us where we can hear that, will you?
Lying there.
Tell us
It'll
where
be on 3MP's website on Saturday. And on the listener app thing, which this broadcast is on, I think, is it? I don't know. But if you get a chance, do have a listen to it, because he got into drugs, he got into alcohol, but he went to America to try and make music and ended up with people like Snoop Dogg, Quincy Jones.
Don't tell me he came across P. Diddy, did he?
I'm not sure about what is your...
No, P. Diddy. No, Puff Daddy. No, I think we keep away from the Puff.
No, I don't know. I doubt it.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was very frank. He was homeless, living on a park bench.
I know, it says that.
And one morning he woke up and he looked at the sun and said, this has got to stop. And he came back and reconstructed his life, which has been a marvellous.
Some interesting news coming out about... Interesting news coming out about Puff Daddy. He's buying baby oil.
Who is
Puff Daddy? Is a rapper a huge rapper who's now in jail because they've suddenly found out that he was buying baby oil in $1,000 lot bottles of cartons of 1,000, and he was just rampant with sex and drugs and underage women and boys and. The great Puff Daddy, a billionaire rapper, now just in disgrace. But he's denied it all, of course. He's denied that from jail.
Oh, cool.
What would you do with 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
Well, you'd probably need them in jail.
Well done. That's good. You would indeed. Fantastic. Well done. Now, Craig, anything else?
I said that.
Nah, that's beautiful.
No, I just want to make sure, as you know, I ring you guys every couple of days to see how you're getting on, and you are obviously still getting on, Sue. You've actually backed up and come away from your gorgeous retreat down there on the coast. You've come back with him. You're still putting up with him. And Donna and I dips our lids to you. Don't worry about that, young lady, OAM.
No, it's been very eventful.
Why has it been eventful?
Well, we see it. I see it every night. I see it every night.
How can you say it's not eventful? Come on. With a man walking around in his underwear full time. I mean, what could a girl want?
Hang on a minute. I put a towel around me when I see you. I robe up a bit.
Don't know.
Robe up.
Now, I've just also let you know that I don't know if you've got the account for the work being done on the boat yet, but I've had a call from the Bank of Nigeria, and they're more than happy to assist in any forthcoming payments you may have to make. So,
well, that's
Mr. Mpopo is my man there.
What a coincidence. I got a text in the mail, said I've won $1 million in the Ethiopian lotto draw, and I was just about to send my bank details over, hoping they'd pay it in, so maybe I don't have to anymore.
You wouldn't believe it. Today, I had a call at, and I know this is not really a time is of nothing, but let's say 3:18 this afternoon, I had a call from a Perth number. And I answered it, and it was to tell me that M-Pay or something, I had a $299.99 credited or debited to my account. Push one for this. So I pushed one because I have a number of ways of just stringing them along, and then I have a number of ways of ending the call, which I won't go into on this podcast because it's naughty. But then I block that call. I block them all. And then a minute later, 3:19, I got another one. I'd be lucky to get one a week, so 2 in 1 minute. So I don't know how. Why don't the telcos do something about this?
Sue Stanley, who's sitting, she gets. You can verify. She gets. I reckon. The phone goes. I reckon there's half the world's ringing Sue up trying to chat her. I said, "Who's that?" I don't say who's that because I couldn't care who's ringing her. That's her business. She gets more scams, don't you? You get. I reckon you get 20 a day.
I get 4 in a row. It would be like an 0402, and then it'll be the first 4 numbers, and then the next 2, and then the last 2 digits. They go 60 or 46 or 71, so they just change the last digits. It's just the same one. Then you block them and you block them and block them. So why aren't the telcos? You're right. And text messages, same thing. I'm getting these text messages the same overnight, 2 of them every night. And then you delete and report, and you say, well, where is these telcos? They're not accountable. Seriously.
And just there must be some way that you have to, this would be one thing, internet banking, which is great, I use it, but I have to put a code pass number in to access the banking things, right? Very simple. Why don't they introduce a system that when I wish to make a call to you, I have to put a code in that can be self-generated, so that when you take my call, it's me.
Yes, more numbers to remember.
Craig, that is about as complicated as you explaining why the Vikings call port side where the porters get on and starboard side where the gondola people steer the boat. That is about as complicated as a thing I've ever heard. Left and right is how boats should be named, and
all right.
That's it.
Next podcast, I'll do Einstein's theory of relativity.
I reckon I could follow that. I can't follow that nonsense about the Vikings.
No, well, all right. Well,
good on you, mate.
Stanley OAM. You can look it up on Google. All right, love to you both.
All the best, my friend. Good
boy. We'll be talking soon.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks,
Greg.
Bye.
Bye.